Hi everybody, it's Sally from Sally Stampers. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm bringing you my second project from my Sweet Week. I do hope that this is quite popular. I did it with the Christmas catalogue last year and I've decided to bring it back again for this spring summer just to see if it's worthwhile. I think personally it's a great idea because I bring you 3 cards to 3D projects that are based on a suite throughout the week. I'm basically wanting to show you the versatility of them and different ideas. And yeah, I love using one suite and trying to get maximum from it. So today is a little mini Lindor chocolate box. Inside, give it a little shake. When I take this lid off, I have a little mini Lindor, and underneath, oh, upside down, it says love. And I just thought this is a great little Valentine's treat, pillow gift, table gift, or anything like that. Now, I have to confess, this isn't my original idea. Last year when I went to, no, in fact, it wasn't even Germany. It was the time before when I went to one of my crafting retreats with all of my fabulous demonstrator colleagues and friends. Somebody handed me this swap. Now, sadly, it had no details on. As you can see, it's got the mosaic DSP on, the beautiful little daisy punch, and this obviously was the same with a Ferrero inside. It didn't have any sentiment on, but it has no details of whose it is, and I was just gutted, but I thought it was a fabulous idea. So the base of this is the same, as you can see, but my lid is slightly bigger. Okay, so I did alter the sizing of the lid, so if you wanted to, you could maybe pop 2 treats in, or I don't know, whatever you wanted to. But yeah, so thank you to whoever did swap this one with me. It's fantastic. And I wanted to recreate it with current product, but for my Sweet Week. So yeah, it's really cute, my little Lindor. And then, as I say, it's just got the little lid that goes on the top, and it's a complete little cute box. So I'm going to show you how to make it. So, scoring board at the ready. So I'm going to do all my scoring to start with because it makes it a lot easier. So I'm going to start with the lid, which I'm using Flirty Flamingo for this one, and camera's going out of focus. Let's stop being crazy, thank you. Okay, so Flirty Flamingo, for the lid you need a sheet of cardstock that is 7 5/8 of an inch by 7 5/8 of an inch, or 17.8 by 17.8 centimetres. With a shim, because it's the lid, we are going to score all 4 sides at 1.5 and 3 inches, which is 3.5 and 7 centimetres. So 1.5, 3. That doesn't seem right at all, so I will check this. Sorry, I completely got distracted then. 1.5 and 3, that doesn't seem right. I will check the centimetres and they will be correct on my blog. I do apologise. Okay, so that's my lid that's completely scored like a big grid with my shim. I'm going to pop that to one side. The next part you need is the base, the one that folds and opens out. This is 4.5 by 4.5 inches, which is 10.5 by 10.5 centimetres. Don't need the shim. And we're just going to score all 4 sides at 1.5, which will be 3.5 centimetres. Okay. And then your little insert for the bit that holds your chocolate, the little tray there, that piece of cardstock is 2 7/8 by 2 7/8, which is 6.5 by 6.5 centimetres, and we're going to score 2 sides actually at 3/8 of an inch and 3/4. Sorry, we're going to do all sides. Ignore me, I'm talking rubbish today. 3/8 and 3/4, which is 0.8 and 1.6 centimetres. A little bit fiddly this one, but it's worthwhile. Everything's worthwhile in crafting. Right, that's it for scoring. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so we have our scored pieces. Pop the lid to one side for now. I'm going to concentrate on the base. So we're going to fold and burnish all of those score lines. I don't know what that is all over my scoring tool. Fold and burnish all of our score lines. We're then going to get our ruler, and on the good side, if you like, we're going to score the 4 corners from the centre out. Okay, centre out, centre out. Then we're going to grab our trimmer and get it the right way round. Oh no, it is. Oh my goodness, I told you I was having one of those days. And we're going to trim this off at an angle here. Now, if you want to use a ruler and scissors, that's fine. I simply do this on my trimmer by lining up the 2 corners. So again, let me zoom in and see if I can show you a bit better. So where this running track is here is where my blade's going to cut. So I get the corner of this score line, the corner of that score line lined up, pop my guard down, get rid of my scoring tool and just cut across with, and that's it. And then I repeat that for all of my points, all 4 sides. So I'm just going to line those up, and the last one, just line that up, and now you have that shape. Let me zoom back out. There we go. So now you're left with that beautiful shape. Get that out of the way. And then these obviously are just going to be folded inwards. So just give them a little encouragement to go the way they should. And I just give them a pinch just to enforce that score line there, to tell it where it's going. Okay. So I want to make my little tray for the inside, which we've already scored. So again, let's go ahead and score and burnish all of those score lines. And this is just really a little reinforced tray, if you will. So grab my scissors. So now we have 4 squares in each corner. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut down them both. And I'm sure you've remembered this when I've done reinforced boxes before. I'm going to cut that away with a wedge, the top half of that away, create wedges and a wedge there. Okay, and we're going to do that on all 4 corners. So we're going to cut down the 2 parts there, cut that one away with a wedge, cut that away, and again if you remember, we had that little saying, cut, cut, wedge, wedge, wedge. Flip it over so that you've got those at the top now, and repeat again at the bottom. So cut away, wedge, then cut. Oh, nearly went the wrong way with that one, but I saved it just at the right time. That's because I wasn't concentrating, I was thinking of something else then. Okay, so when you've finished, you will have that kind of look. I'll just get rid of all these bits. And then all we need to do is add some adhesive. Now I did use wet glue, and I just put a tiny blob on those parts. And I did actually use these library clips that I have and a couple of pegs, and I'll show you why. What I want to do is put some adhesive under there, so that when I fold that little tab in there and that little tab in there, So I fold those two in. I can then tuck this piece over to hold it all in place and pop a clip on. And it will just hold it in place while I add this one. So I've got my 2 bits of glue here. So I'm adding glue to this side here. And then I'm popping those 2 tabs in, folding this one up and over to trap those 2 little tabs. Just make sure before it all sets that you've tucked them in nice and tightly. So again, my clip has gone on there. And then these last 2 we do exactly the same for. So adhesive, fold it over, tuck it in, pop on your clip. And the last one, it can get a bit fiddly if you've got, like me, these great big clips on and you can't actually get your fingers in there. And then just a couple of pegs to hold that one in place. And that, if you can see, is your little tray. While the glue's drying on that, I'm going to pop my DSP on. So, for your little DSP pieces, you are going to need 4 that are 1 1/4 by 1 1/4 or 3 centimetres by 3 centimetres. As you can see, I've rounded the corners of these. I've kept one because I want to show you how I did this, because with your detailed trio punch, trying to get that in, oh my goodness, that, well, it's disappeared. It's almost virtually impossible to get that in place. So what I did, little mini post-it note, I stuck it on, I put it in place and punched. Turned it round, put it in place and punched. And I just did this. Yes, it was slightly time consuming, but I did this with all of the pieces. And there you have your lovely corner rounded patterned pieces. So, snail on the back of these. And I want all of my hearts to face the centre. So these are all just going to go in like that. Whoops. And then the last one can go in there. And then I've got a little bit of wet glue here that I'm just going to pop in to pop my, so I'm just going to pull these clips away from the base because I don't want them sitting high, and then I'm just going to pop this into the centre there and just press down that bottom to get that glue to adhere. And then in the centre of mine I had that little sentiment. So on a scrap of Whisper White that I've actually forgot to get out, I have my 1-inch circle punch, and I have the fabulous Heartfelt stamp set that is getting very much use because I love it. Just that tiny little love sentiment there. And then with my Flirty Flamingo, because we're going with Flirty Flamingo on this one, I'm just going to stamp that love there. Clean that, put the lid on that so I don't get it everywhere. And then just with my 1-inch circle punch, make sure that's in the centre and pop that out. And then with a little bit of snail, take these clips off now because that will all be dried enough. And then just using my take your pick. Does it matter which way? No, I don't think so. I want to pop that just in the the centre, and then my chocolate, obviously it's a pink one, goes in there. And then this can now be folded up that way and that way to create my little box. So now for the lid, we're going to do exactly the same as we did for the insert, because this is a reinforced lid. So we're going to fold and burnish all of those score lines. And then we're going to do exactly the same as we did for the insert. So it's just on a bigger scale. So we're going to cut down 2 lines, 2 lines, wedge, cut off, wedge, and then wedge these 2. And then exactly the same here. As I said, it's exactly the same as the insert, the little tray, just on a bigger scale. So it's no different to the one we did before. Okay, and then this side, again, doing the same, cutting down, then we're going to wedge, cut away, wedge, 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 and then the last one, see how high pitched we can get. Wedge, cut away, and then the last one's here. Okay, so once we've got that done, you have this left over with a wedge missing there. Let me just quickly cut that away. Okay, so that's what we should have. Okay, now these are slightly longer than we want, these tabs. So I'm literally just going to trim these down to half the size, because we don't need all of that. Okay, so you're now left with this. And we're going to do exactly the same again as we did with the other one. So with your wet glue, we're going to put adhesive on there, and then on the inside of that one. Then we fold this one in, which I've just stuck my finger in. This one in here, and then we're going to fold that one over and under to hold those in place. So the same again for this side, adhesive on there and on that part there, fold those in, and then this over the top. And then obviously these last ones, we do the same again, fold over and tuck in. Now obviously I'm not going to start adding huge washing line clips to this to hold this one in place, because I have the perfect solution. Put it on your base so it holds it in place. Put that one in as well. So we just need to decorate it now. So I've done exactly the same with my post-it note for these ones, but for the lid your DSP is 1 3/8 by 1 3/8 of an inch, or 3 by 3 centimeters. And then we're just going to snail these all around the sides. Now you might think my measurements are off slightly, and I also think my measurements are off slightly. However, I actually quite like them like this. So I'm sticking with it. I think my snail's going to run out any second, so let's just hope there's enough to get me to the end. And you can add one to the top if you want, but obviously I'm using the heart punch pack that we get with the beautiful sweet. So with the scalloped heart, I don't know if this is going to be big enough, no. I'll grab some of my scrap Whisper White here. So there's a scalloped white. Then I have a plain flirty flamingo. And then I also then have my embossing buddy. Let's give that a wipe. Whoops. I have my Versamark. And then I need my lovely little stamps. I'm going to go with Love You Lot, I think, this time. Love You Lot stamp sorry. On my Versamark, on the centre of my heart, and then I've got my white embossing powder here to just sprinkle over there. It's so windy here today, honestly, I can't believe it. It was recycling day 2, so there's recycling blowing all down the road, and it's absolutely crazy. There's a plastic milk carton outside my house, and I've heard it for ages and I keep wanting to go and get it, but then I know I need to get my crafting finished. Right, so heat tool. Because this is a small shape, I'm actually going to use one of my little mini pegs just to hold that, save me burning my fingers. Haven't done heat embossing for ages, and I don't know why, because I love it. It has a great effect. But I'm just going to heat emboss this white. I'm still burning my fingers. Heat emboss the white there. Okay. And then all I'm going to do, whoops, that was my heat tool going on the floor. Just add some snail onto there. Add this onto my paper, my Whisper White heart. Give it a little squash. Again, add. Please don't run out. Thank you. Add my snail. Now you have to make sure you'll probably have to take the lid off once you've finished and check that this is the right way round. I don't want to put punch holes here to grab this, if I'm honest. That's why I'm doing it this way. Let's have a look. No, that's the right way. And then the final touch is these gorgeous faceted gems. So I want a pink one and a glue dot. And I'm going to go with a white one and a glue dot. Oops. Get rid of that little bit of paper there. Put the lid on those before they go skedaddling everywhere. And that, my friends, is your little mini Lindor chocolate box. So thank you to whoever the original design was from. Hope you like my Valentine's edition. Hope to see you all again soon.